The Barcelona pre-season test wrapped up last week, so now that the dust has settled a bit, we can take a look at exactly what happened. Which teams are actually ahead so far under the 2026 regulations? With so many new rules, new cars and new power units, it's not as simple as looking at just the lap times. Some teams focused on reliability, others tested new parts, and some did not even show their real car yet. So let's break it all down. Let's start with the team that looked the most impressive, Mercedes. After a few years of struggling, the Silver Arrows do seem to be back on top. They completed the most laps of any team in Barcelona with over 500 laps and more than 2,300 kilometers on the board. That is a huge achievement for a brand new car and a brand new power unit. It shows that the Mercedes is reliable, which is the first and most important step to being competitive. But of course, it's not just about reliability. The Mercedes was also fast. George Russell set the fastest time of the week with a 1:16.445, and his teammate Kimi Antonelli was not far behind with a 1:17.081. They have a car that is both fast and reliable, and that of course is a very dangerous combination. Next up is Ferrari. The Italian team also had a very strong test. They were fast and reliable, with Charles Leclerc setting the fastest time on the final morning. The Ferrari power unit did look very strong, with both the factory team and the customer team Haas completing a lot of laps. The SF26 looks like a big step forward from last year's car, and the team does seem to have a good understanding of the new regulations. Lewis Hamilton has been very positive about his new team, and he's been impressed with the winning mentality that has been seen at Maranello. Ferrari has not won a championship since 2008, but they are looking now like a real contender for 2026. McLaren had a more mixed test. They were late to the party, only hitting the track on day 3, and when they did get running, they had a fuel system problem that forced them to strip the car down. That is not ideal, but it is better, of course, to have these problems during testing rather than the race weekend. The good news for McLaren is that when the car was running, it looked very quick. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both set competitive lap times, and the team was able to get some valuable mileage under their belt on the final day. The MCL40 is a very complex car, and the team is still learning how to get the most out of it. But it was looking pretty good. The potential is clearly there. Alpine had a quiet but productive test. They were not at the top of the timesheets, but they consistently completed laps and gathered data. The team focused on reliability and understanding the new car, and they didn't have any major issues. So that's a very solid start for the French team, and they'll be looking to build on this in the Bahrain test. Haas was one of the surprise packages of the test. The American team was incredibly reliable, with both Oliver Bearman and Esteban Ocon completing a lot of laps. The car might not be the fastest, but it is a solid platform to build on. Io Komatsu, he's been focused on improving the team's processes and procedures, and the early signs are that it's already paying off. Now let's talk about the teams that had a bit more of a difficult test. Red Bull being one, the team that dominated Formula 1 for a few years before McLaren took the title in 2025, had a mixed bag. On one hand, their new power unit, built in partnership with Ford, was surprisingly reliable. Both Red Bull and their sister team Racing Bulls completed a lot of laps without any major engine issues. That's a huge relief, of course, for the team, as there were a lot of question marks about the new engine. On the other hand, the team did have some issues on the chassis side. Isaac Hadjar crashed the car on day 2, and the team lost a lot of track time while they were repairing it. Max Verstappen also had a spin on the same day. These are the kind of teething problems that you do expect with a new car, but it's obviously still not ideal. Cadillac had a tough start to their Formula 1 journey. The American team who entered the sport in 2026 struggled with reliability. They didn't complete many laps, and they had a lot of small issues that kept them in the garage. This is not a surprise for a new team, but it is a reminder of how difficult it is to be competitive in Formula 1. Audi also had quite a challenging week. The German manufacturer who took over the Sauber team in 2026 had a lot of mechanical problems and they weren't able to complete many laps, and they are already on the back foot. Audi has a lot of work to do if they want to be competitive in 2026. Williams is the only team that didn't run at all in Barcelona. The British team had a problem with their crash test and they weren't able to get their car ready in time. So that, of course, is a major setback for the team, and they will be playing catch up when they get to the Bahrain test. Aston Martin was another team that was late to the party. They only hit the track on day 4 and they only completed a handful of laps before the car stopped on track. The team has a very radical new car designed by the legendary Adrian Newey, and it's clear that they are still trying to understand it. The potential is there though, but they're a long way behind the rivals in terms of mileage. Finally, there's Racing Bulls. The sister team to Red Bull had a pretty solid test. They were reliable and they completed a lot of laps. They're not going to be at the front of the grid, but they are in a good position to start the season. So what does it all mean? Well, it's still very early days, of course, but we can start to see a pecking order begin to emerge here. Mercedes and Ferrari do at the moment look like the teams to beat. They are fast, reliable, and they have a very good understanding of the new regulations. McLaren is a bit of a dark horse. They have the potential to be very fast, but they also need to sort out their reliability issues. Red Bull at this stage is a bit of an unknown. Their engine looks good, but they have had some issues with the car, and the rest of the grid is a long way behind. A lot can change between now and the first race in Australia. The Bahrain test, of course, will give us a much clearer picture of who is really ahead. But for now, it looks like the 2026 season is going to be a battle between the Silver Arrows and the Prancing Horse. It is important to remember that testing is not always about headline lap times. Teams run different programs with different fuel loads and different engine modes. So while the timesheets can give us a general idea of the pecking order, they of course don't tell the whole story. The lap counts are often a better indicator of a team's performance, and in that respect, Mercedes is the clear winner of the Barcelona test. Their 500 plus laps are a testament to the reliability of their new car and power unit. This is a team that has done its homework. Ferrari not far behind. Their 300 plus laps also very impressive, and they've shown that they have the pace to match Mercedes. The battle between these two giants of the sport is going to be a fascinating one to watch in 2026. Both teams have a lot to prove, and they both have a driver lineup that is capable of winning a championship. The midfield at the moment is looking very tight. Alpine, Haas and Racing Bulls all had solid tests, and they will all be hoping to be at the front of that battle. The teams at the back have a lot of work to do. Cadillac, Audi and Aston Martin all had difficult tests. These teams will be hoping to make a big step forward in the Bahrain test, but it's not going to be easy. The 2026 regulations are a huge challenge, and the teams that have started on the back foot will find it very difficult to catch up. The Barcelona test gave us a glimpse of a new era of Formula One, and while it is still early, it looks like we are going to be in for a very exciting season. The battle at the front is shaping up to be a classic, and the midfield as competitive as ever. The Bahrain test will give us more answers, but for now we can say that Mercedes and Ferrari are the teams to beat. Who are you gunning for in 2026? Let us know in the comments below.